Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by contribution from Julia. And this is a different Julia than the last Julia video I did, so I just want to make that clear. Here's her story. Hi, Ollie. I left a donation with PayPal. I'm really enjoying the Estranged Parents series and the direction of the channel. Keep up the good work exposing these parents. So Thanksgiving is almost here, and I guess it's also gaslighting season and fog or fear of obligation and guilt season as well. I don't understand why Thanksgiving is a hill that most narcissistic parents are willing to die on. I have been no contact for 11 months now from my son, husband, brother, and his borderline personality disordered wife. Want to know why Thanksgiving seems that way? Because Thanksgiving is the lead up into to Christmas, and Christmas is the big holiday. So if you are going to make a stand at Thanksgiving, that is going to fuck things up for Christmas. So that is why it seems like Thanksgiving is their hill to die on, because they don't want it going over into Christmas and explaining why everything's all fucked up at Christmas time. They live with my parents, and up until January of this year, I lived with them in my grandmother's farmhouse. Since moving, my life has been almost drama and anxiety free. My daughter went to college and is doing well, and my son is excelling at the early college high school. Okay, I know exactly which Julia you are. Now I believe your daughter's gay. That's right, your daughter's gay. They don't like that your daughter's gay. They call her like some kind of monster and everything else. And then your brother and sister-in-law were in the farmhouse after, like, all that shit. I remember. I definitely remember. I don't remember which videos, the name of the video offhand, but I remember. We moved 5 minutes from his school and 5 minutes from the hospital where I work. I was promoted to clinical nurse supervisor and run the emergency room on night shift. Right. I believe you also got your sister-in-law a job at the hospital. You got her a couple opportunities, which she then made you look like a fucking asshole for doing. No good deed goes unpunished, because your sister-in-law is a classic histrionic borderline who ruins every friggin' event anyway. I even started dating again. That's a whole video in and of itself, as I would have never been able to date living next to my parents and having them in my business all the time, and my sister-in-law watching every move and listening to every word, waiting to be offended. Well, didn't your brother and sister-in-law also have like foster children as well? We're bringing in a foster child, or I don't know. I remember the whole situation is a goddamn train wreck. She is the borderline you okay, yes. She is the borderline you have made several videos about, where she got offended that my daughter said the word bullshit. She ran up the stairs all the time crying if she was triggered by something, and sat my mother down one night for 2 hours outlining why I am the problem with the family and I'm the cause of all the drama and family strife. She ramped up the drama to the point where she sent me a 2012 word text text message, challenged me to a fight and telling me I'm a horrible nurse, horrible parent, and my kids are disrespectful, and she wanted me to come out to my mother's house and bring it. If someone has sent a text message like that to my daughter, I would have kicked that woman out of my house. But my mother defended her and still defends her to this day. My brother and sister-in-law even ambushed me one night at a family dinner to demand an apology and get a pound of flesh from me for being the family scapegoat. They even accused me of being gay at the time and turning my daughter gay. Yes, I guess the joke is on them, because at the time I felt like it was none of their business. But I am actually bisexual, but there again, it was none of their business why I had not dated a man in 9 years. Yes, I am dating again, but I am dating a wonderful person that my religious family would say I'm going to hell for being gay. Anyways, all this led up to the kids and I moving away. You've done several videos on this, but I wanted to give some background information on the subject for your viewers. I have been no contact now with my brother and sister-in-law for 11 months. I have seen them twice since we moved away. Once in March when my favorite uncle passed away, and of course my sister-in-law, Christina, had to send me a nasty text message that weekend as well, making it all about her, as the borderline will always do. No matter what the event is, the borderline is going to make it about themselves. Always. The next time I saw them was last month at my uncle's memorial service and funeral. He and my aunt were the only normal ones in my family. They raised their children in a loving household, and I had secretly wished that I had been my uncle's daughter all my life. So I had to deal with my brother and Christina last month, but I did everything to avoid them at the memorial service. I can count on one hand the amount of times I've seen my parents in the last 11 months. They came over to my house when I first moved, demanding that I take an old cabinet that I left behind in the house that was part of the kitchen. They came over again uninvited when my daughter graduated high school, and we had a party for her and her friends. It was very awkward. They came over a couple weeks ago when I was injured in a training exercise in the Army Reserves and had to be on crutches. Other than that, I really don't see them. They never invite me and the kids to any family functions. For the most part, it's like we're not even part of the family. I have told my mother I don't feel comfortable around Christina. I really felt like she was looking for an excuse to have me arrested, and I'm sure she was. Always trust your gut. Always trust your gut when dealing with these people. If you think she was trying to have you arrested, it's because she was trying to have you arrested. She had accused me in the past of assaulting her, and I had to correct her and say I had never laid a hand on her. She then retracted her statement and said, "You assaulted me with your words." Poor you. I have told my mother in the past that I think Christina is unstable and she's dangerous. I don't want to be around her in any way, and if I'm around her, I'm always recording on my phone so she can't accuse me of anything. So this past week, the gaslighting and obligations and guilt have been ramped up to a level 10 about Thanksgiving. Like I said, I don't know why this is a sticking point with narcissistic parents, because Thanksgiving is the lead up to Christmas, and they don't want the Christmases fucked up. They don't pay attention to you all year and don't have any use for you, and then all of a sudden this holiday comes around and they demand they be at your house for dinner. My mother called last week and said casually, "We never decided when we are going to have Thanksgiving dinner this year. I don't know what Danielle and Christina's plans are because they're going to her parents' house at some point." I reminded my mother that I have to work Thanksgiving night in the emergency room. My daughter is coming home from college late Tuesday night, but has to go back to college Friday night because she's in the marching band and the team made the playoffs. There will be a playoff game on Saturday that she has to attend. My mother then said, "Well, we could do it Wednesday night." I told her that my kids already had plans to have Friendsgiving on Wednesday night, and that's the only night I have free, and I'm not working that she is going to be home. My kids are not comfortable around Daniel and Christina as they are homophobic and have made homophobic comments around them, and my daughter is gay as well. Plus, my daughter has said she wants nothing to do with her grandparents because of how she saw them treat me over the years we lived next to them. She said, "Mom, you deserve so much better than how your parents treated you." I don't know how I raised such an emotionally intelligent young woman, but she has boundaries and understands narcissistic abuse. I guess I can thank her father for that. I was married to a narcissist for 16 years, so she knows a narcissist when she sees one. My mother has been having memory problems for the past couple of years, but talking to her on the phone, I wasn't sure if she was gaslighting or Alzheimer's dementia getting worse. She talks in circles and acts like she doesn't remember things. When I reminded her of the 2012 word text message that prompted me to move away, she didn't remember it and took her a few seconds to agree that she remembered it. I think she has started to think Christina is her actual daughter, not me. She forgets things that you have told her 5 minutes ago. I have patients with actual brain injuries that seem to function better with her memory, with their memory than her. So I don't know how much of it is her normal gaslighting that she had before she had Alzheimer's. And again, this is why I say death doesn't absolve the narcissist, disease doesn't absolve the narcissist. You shouldn't be wondering any of this because you should already be no contact with all of them. She made her choice. She made her bed with your brother and sister-in-law. Let them worry about it. It's weird that you can remember I'm dating a woman and freak out about it, but can't remember from one moment to the next that I told her I can't come for Thanksgiving. Maybe living with Christina full time without me there to be a scapegoat has taken a toll on her, but I just don't know. But you got Christina there constantly probably calling you a dyke and calling you gay and calling your daughter a dyke and calling you disgusting. So it's kind of hard to forget something when when your sister-in-law is there constantly saying who knows what, you know what to her at all times. Guaranteed. Maybe living with Christina full time without me there to be the scapegoat has taken its toll on her, but I just don't know. She's acting like her mother did this at this age when she has Alzheimer's, but her mother also had a massive stroke. Mom has always been manipulative, so it's hard to tell the difference. In the same conversation, she stated, okay, I guess we'll have Thanksgiving lunch. I reminded her that I work in the ER that night and have to sleep during the day to be able to work all night. Here's your problem, Julia. Just tell her you don't want to come. Yeah, you have to work. Yeah, you got all this going on with the kids. You're still making excuses. At the end of the day, you don't want to fucking be there. I don't want to be around you people, is what you need to say. Because that is more, even though you got to work and your daughter's got band and the team's in the playoffs and the Friendsgiving on Wednesday night, all that may be true. But nothing is more true than the fact that you don't want to be there. I don't want to be around you people. Period. End of conversation. Enjoy your crazy ass Thanksgiving. I would not be awake at lunchtime on Thanksgiving Day. She then said, well, we can do lunch on Friday. I told her I get off work at 7 a.m. Friday morning, and I have to sleep through the day and then get up and drive my daughter back to college. That is 4 hours away. My daughter still doesn't drive yet because she wasn't able to take driver's ed during COVID. And when she went to get her license, the driver's license office didn't have anyone working that day that could do her driving test and only had one person in the office. Yeah, let me tell you something. What COVID did, there is no government agency that has benefited more from COVID than lazy-ass DMV workers, because Florida DMV is the same deal. It used to just be able to walk in, get your stuff done, you're done, and walk out in 45 minutes. Now they still got people waiting outside, appointments. It is so goddamn annoying. It's frustrating trying to get a driver's license in our state because it seems like there is no one actually working at DMV, and it takes months to get an appointment. She doesn't really need a car at school, but it's a milestone she hasn't been able to achieve and makes things harder being a single parent. My mother didn't seem to understand this and circled back saying, well, we don't do Wednesday night. I told her I don't want to spend Thanksgiving with people that hate me and are always hanging on my every word, looking to be offended. This is the road you should be going down. My mother then said loudly and crying, why don't you just don't want my family to get together for Thanksgiving? It was the words she used, my family, instead of our family. It was strange usage of words, and I don't know how much is her Alzheimer's and how much was actually a slip of the tongue, that she views me and my kids as possessions or extensions of her, or maybe she doesn't consider us part of the family. No, she views you all as possessions. That's all it is. She views it all as possessions. At that point in the conversation, I could hear my sister-in-law with the adoptive foster child in the background and my mother cooing the baby saying, "Oh, look who's awake." Like I said, I think she has replaced me as her daughter with Christina and the adoptive baby as her grandchild instead of my kids. I told Mom that I don't feel welcome in her house. The text message Christina sent me said that my brother had read that text message and he agreed with everything in it. My best friend has been saying all this time that she doesn't think my brother hates me and that she thinks he doesn't know about the text message and that I should talk to my brother. No, he knows. He knows. Of course he knows. I have no interest in talking to my brother as he's an arrogant prick, but I called my mother's bluff at this point. I said, "Mom, Christina said that Daniel knew everything she put in that text message and agreed with it all. I wonder if that's true. I think I'm going to send a text message to him and see what he says." My mom started pleading with me not to do that. "Don't do that. Don't do that." I decided to send him an email with the text message just to see what my brother really thinks about me. I have been no contact with him, so it took me a while to even find a working email. But I really wanted to know what he thinks of me and if he really agreed with everything in the text message. I know I broke no contact, but I really wanted to know if my brother thinks I'm a horrible mom, a horrible nurse, and I have horrible kids. I sent him the following email. "Daniel, Mom invited me and the kids to Thanksgiving on Wednesday. My daughter goes back to college on Friday for a possible playoff game on Saturday. I have to work Thursday night as Thanksgiving is my holiday to work. I have no quarrel with you and you'll always be my brother, but I don't feel welcome in my parents' home and I don't feel like my children are welcome. We moved in January because it had become a toxic environment living in that house physically from all the mold every time it rained, but also because of a long message that Christina sent me. She sent me a 2012 word message last October. She said in the message that you had read it and agreed with everything. I couldn't believe that my brother thought those things about me. I thought it was dangerous to keep living next to Christina if she was always hanging on every word I said or looking for an opportunity to fight. I don't know if you ever read the text message or you agree with everything that was said. I think a lot of times whatever I say to Mom gets filtered through her Alzheimer memory and told to Christina in a different way. I decided to move in January to take myself and the kids out of that environment, thinking it would help the family heal. But even after I tried to avoid Christina the weekend our uncle died, she still sent me another text message before I could even get home. I barely said 2 words to her that weekend, so I know she's always watching me or listening to everything I say. I have pasted the text message at the end of this email so you can see why I moved and chose to put distance between me and the kids and my parents and brother and sister-in-law. I have no quarrel with Christina. What? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. See, you're still pulling your punches, Julia. You're pulling your punches with him, you're pulling your punches with your mother, and now you're pulling your punches with Christina. You have every right to feel the way you feel about your sister and brother, your sister-in-law and brother and mother. You have every right. I really don't care what she does or does not do. I'm not going to force my children to go to Thanksgiving. I've been hurt these past few months thinking my own brother hates me from the words in this text message. Maybe you have read it and agree with everything. I don't know, but here's the message below. I never responded to her text message because I'm not trying to start drama and told Mom over a year ago that any drama would not come from me, Julia. He answered me a couple days later but did not respond to the text message and even tried to use their foster child as an excuse for the drama. They didn't even have their foster child when the drama first started 2 years ago, so I know my brother is still an arrogant son-husband narcissist who doesn't want to make his wife accountable for her behavior. Here is what he said below. Hey, Julia, I already asked Mom the other week if she had talked to you and knew what time you had off for Thanksgiving. I would really like for you and the kids to come Wednesday night and have all of us at Thanksgiving together. Christina is working a new job now close to daycare, so I told Mom that 6:30 would probably be be best time-wise. I honestly wanted us to talk since everything went down last 2 years, but I'd like us to have a chance to talk in person. It's really hard to talk through email and text. It's been so long, I honestly hardly recognize your kids at the funeral. They changed so much. You and the kids are always welcome in our parents' home. What bothered me so much 2 years ago was the language. Our child is starting to speak and put words together, and she's trying to speak, and she will try to speak what has been said by whoever is around. So Christina and is truly trying our hardest to be a good positive influence, and we're trying to shield her from anything inappropriate. Not saying that I'm anticipating an issue when we get together, just in general, we're trying our best to keep free any language from anybody so she doesn't pick it up. Dude, he is hoovering you in for an attack, because I guarantee you Christina has been on a fucking warpath since you left. That's what's happening here. You'll always be my sister as well. Nothing will change that. You can always call or text me if you need me or just need to talk. They have our new dash cameras in our truck at work, so I can only do hands-free through my headset as far as talk, text, etc. Gotta go now, heading to the dentist this afternoon. Good evening, love, Daniel. Yeah, dude, don't take that. That's bait. That's bait. That's bait. Don't take it. My mother called again today, wanting me to come to Thanksgiving. I reminded her again that the fact that I am not welcome in my own parents' home because Christina, and that I chose to spend Thanksgiving with people that don't like me or are going to judge me for my lifestyle or my children's supposed bad language. My kids are 18 and 16, and they're capable of making up their own minds where they want to spend Thanksgiving. My mother started to cry and then said, sometimes you just have to suck things up and deal with them. Fuck that. No, you don't. No, you don't. I told Mom I'm not just going to suck it up. I refuse to spend time with Christina and Daniel on Thanksgiving, and I'm not going to just suck it up. You are more than welcome to come to my house on Wednesday night during Friendsgiving. She said I would rather have a root canal than spend time with your children's friends on Thanksgiving Eve. So she'd rather have a root canal. So what are we talking about here, Julia? When the narcissist tells you what they really think about you, believe them. You're still pulling your punches with these people, and you don't need to. I told Mom that was her choice, but I'm not coming over and subjecting myself to a possible ambush by my brother and his wife, and that's exactly what will happen. That's exactly what's being set up, is an ambush. I have had less pressure put on me when buying a car than when buying a used car than I've had these past 2 weeks about dinner. Forget the fact that she hasn't invited me to one family function over the past year, and that my kids and I are considered the black sheep of the family. Now all of a sudden we're required to show up at dinner in November, like all of a sudden we're a full functioning family members. I promise you there's probably going to be other people there that she doesn't want to look bad, either at Thanksgiving or at Christmas. Thanksgiving is always the lead up to Christmas. So you can't be really talking about one without the other. I almost gave in and told her I would stop by on Thanksgiving by myself before work, but I didn't. My daughter said that I have been happier these past few months than I have been in years, and I should keep doing what I'm doing with no contact. She says you're born with parents and siblings, but you get to choose your real family, Mom. My mother must have talked to my brother because he texted me tonight asking if I was coming over Wednesday night. I said no, it's the only time I have with my daughter, and I would rather spend it with people that care about me and my kids. My brother stopped texting me at that point. I guess he had done his due diligence with Mom, asking him to text me, but I stayed firm. Anyways, I just wanted to let your viewers see how gaslighting doesn't stop just because you go no contact. But you're not no contact, Julia. These people, you're still talking, dealing with these people. You're not no contact. You're not no contact until you're no contact. This isn't what you're doing here, is not no contact. You're still leaving the door open and they're still getting through the crack. You have to cut them out completely. No contact means no fucking contact. The narcissist doesn't change their playbook, and I almost fell for it. I broke no contact with my brother, but it did show me he's still arrogant and has in his head, has his head in the sand as a son husband. And I told you that your mother is the root of all of this. Going no contact with your brother and your sister-in-law isn't the problem. They're a symptom of the problem. The problem has been and will always be your mother. Your mother. Because your mother feels the same way about your children that your brother and sister-in-law do. So why are you not in no contact with her? Why? I guess some people are willing to put up with bad behavior and borderline craziness because they're lonely and want to be married. But you're putting up with it too. You're still putting up with it, Julia. Even though you moved out and you moved away, you're still subjecting yourself to the bullshit. Have a great Thanksgiving, Ollie. I know the kids and I will have a great holiday with the beer brine turkey that I'm going to fix with herb butter under the skin. Yes, since I've moved and not had to go to my mother's house every night for dinner, I actually get to cook and enjoy the food, like the foods that I like, and not eat dry, overcooked turkey. But they're still affecting your holiday because you still haven't cut your mother out. Just because she's old, just because she might have Alzheimer's, doesn't absolve her. It doesn't. We're going to have a great Wednesday before Thanksgiving with friends and decorate the Christmas tree and watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation as a family. I'll probably put up the Christmas lights as well. We're making our own traditions, being free of drama. No contact this Thanksgiving is definitely the way to go. Thank you for all you do. Sincerely, Julia. You're not going to be no contact, Julia, until you cut them all out. Period. Because what you're talking about here is not no contact. It's not. Your mother's got to go too, and I've been telling you that for quite some time. Your brother and sister-in-law are a symptom of the problem. The root has been, and will always be your mother. So, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for the contribution and another story, Julia. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with either the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to subscribe to both my channels on Rumble. Follow me on Twitter and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.